Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We've got Cad Bane for the Separatists. That's right, we're getting two versions of Cad Bane in the Rogue class Starfighter pack, and we're going to be taking a look at not only the new Cad Bane, or both versions of Cad Bane, because we'll go back to the other one, but also the Xanadu Blood and an amazing new cannon upgrade for Star Wars X-Wing. If you guys are new here to the channel, we are still giving away a $70 Amazon gift card for the Shadow Collective core set for Star Wars Legion. That'll be, of course, up to you what you spend the $70 on. You can get a core set, you can get some X-Wing stuff, you can get yourself something else. But all you have to do to enter to win that giveaway is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. Also, I want to thank today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Be sure to check out luxuryplaystyle.com for some amazing full metal tokens for X-Wing, Legion, L5R, Arkham, Keyforge, lots of games. Check them out. Go over to luxuryplaystyle.com. You're going to love these tokens. They're absolutely amazing. And orders of $35 or more that use code Crabbok VIP not only are going to save 15% with that code, but you're also going to get a free Crabbok token. It's got the C on the front, the 5 on the back. You can mark critical hits with it. You can use it for damage counters in games with the 5 on the back. You can use it as a light side versus dark side coin for RPGs. You can do an awful lot with that coin. It's pretty awesome. You can just use it for whatever you want. You can, if you want to just have the coolest coin on the block, there you go. So check out luxuryplaystyle.com. All right, so let's take a look at another version of Cad Bane that is coming in the Rogue class Starfighter pack. Again, this is a dual faction pack, both Scum and Separatists. We have already seen the Scum Cad Bane, but let's take a look at the new Separatist Cad Bane, which is super cool. Here he is at Initiative 4. And he has a, again, he's got a different pilot ability, but just as a refresher of this ship as a whole, the Rogue class is 2 attack, 2 agility, 5 hull, 2 shields, and of course it has focus, evade, and target lock as its white actions. Focus can chain into either a boost or a barrel roll, both red. Evade can chain into a red barrel roll, and it also has a red boost as a standalone action. So a lot of repositional abilities, a lot of ways to give yourself stress. Now, with only the 2 primary attack, this does have the dead to rights keyword, and it says, well, you perform an attack if the defender's in your bullseye arc, defense dice cannot be modified using green tokens. So that's the big thing about this ship. It's kind of got a smaller bite with only 2 attack, but if it can line you up in the arc, all of a sudden now modifying defense dice is definitely going to be a lot more difficult. You're going to have to rely on rerolls or just natural luck or force, you know, and that can be a good or a bad thing, because Jedi can still spend their force to do it, but then again, now you're forcing the Jedi to spend force, where maybe they had a focus token, and so and those force only come back usually once each turn, so that's the thing here. Now, the Separatist version of Cad Bane does have a recurring charge token. It says, during the engagement phase, after another ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, you may spend a charge to perform an action, even while stressed. So, a couple of things. First off, being able to perform an action during the engagement phase is really cool. And at Initiative 4, that gives you potential really cool timing. Again, your higher aces on your opponent's side are going to shoot. Maybe they're going to kill something. That allows Cad Bane to be like, haha, and barrel roll or boost into position. And that works. That definitely works, because you can do this action even while stretched. So it's not stretched. You're not going to actually stretch him out while stressed. But an interesting thing about this is that while it's cool, it's also very conditional, right? It's not guaranteed to work. So you can't set yourself up like relying on getting that action, because your opponent might shoot at Cad Bane instead. And of course, I think that's going to be one of the issues, is that people are going to want to shoot Cad Bane instead. So maybe you send a bunch of vulture droids up ahead and kind of keep Cad Bane out of range, and then all of a sudden, did you happen to kill, like, if you could line it up just right where the vulture droids are at range 0 to 3 of Cad Bane, but Cad Bane is out of either arc or range of enemy ships, then maybe you can make it work, where then he then boosts into range and now can fire at somebody, preferably in bullseye arc. Although it's going to be a little harder to line up bullseye arc at those longer ranges. A little bit easier on medium and larger ships, though. And of course, that this is an ability that would probably be a lot worse in a lot of other factions, but in this, with Separatists, you do have, all those vulture droids, and it's definitely a possible thing. There's a lot of swarm mentality that goes into a lot of Separatist builds, and so I think he could definitely work with a bunch of cheap ships that can move up and kind of blow up, and then give him free stuff, and like all kinds of interesting ways to try to make him work. Or it could just simply be arc dodging too. I think that's probably the more likely thing, is that you'll want to arc dodge. You'll want to, barrel roll into positions where or boost into positions where now, I got a barrel roll. Now, even if you're stressed, you can still do this action. So that's also another really cool thing. However, if you're going to be chaining, you're going to eventually find a way to have lots of stress. And unfortunately, you may find yourself with a ridiculous amount of stress. So, be careful. Maybe we haven't seen everything for this expansion yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are some stress shedding mechanics or ways to convert stress. Speaking of stress, if we go back to our other version of Cad Bane, this is the Scum version that we've already seen a couple weeks ago, that does also deal with stress, right? After you perform an attack that hits, you may spend 2 charge, and this Scum version of Cad Bane has 2 charge with, of course, the recurring symbol, to transfer one of your non-lock orange or red tokens to the defender. So this version of Cad Bane already has a built-in mechanic for shedding stress. I wonder if we'll see like a talent or something like that also kind of synergizes with either of these abilities, or if not, maybe multiple new talents. Now, Cad Bane doesn't just fly any rogue class starfighter. Cad Bane flies the Xanadu Blood, and this is a title for any rogue class, so it's not faction bound, so you can run this on any version of the rogue class. It does add the device and crew slots. Now, I don't know how important that is, because I don't know how many upgrade slots this normally has. We can't assume it's going to have multiple cannon slots, or at least some versions of it will have multiple cannon slots. It certainly had better if it's going to come with the next upgrade we're going to look at. But it also grants you the ability to cloak, which is super cool. So cloaking is, we haven't seen a new cloaking ship in a while. I guess Darth Maul was the last one. There's just cloak is one of those actions that you don't really see all that much, but I think it is pretty cool. Of course, it is a red action, and that can certainly factor in with some of the other things. Like, oh, you know what? Somebody else got blown up, and maybe I'm about to get shot next. Let me go ahead and cloak. It's an idea. I don't really see that being the thing. I think maybe you cloak and then like decloak into position to where now you get that free action, and then do all of your shenanigans. But that could work. That could work. And all of this repositioning might not seem like it's terribly worth it because of the fact that the ship has a primary attack of only 2. But when we look at this new cannon upgrade, which not too many ships will be able to take these cannons, but the Proton Cannons, because it's a dual cannon upgrade, it's going to require 2 cannon slots. A lot of the ships that can take cannons don't have a second cannon option to go with them. There are a few. Personally, this is going to be great on the Rogue class because of it already requiring a bullseye arc, which this ship already wants. You remember heavy laser cannons when they were reintroduced in 2.0, they became a little more difficult to line up because you had to have that bullseye arc. Well, here is a 4 primary attack. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's only, well, not primary attack. I mean, sorry, 4 base value of dice at ranges 2 to 3, and it will allow range bonuses though. So really, the sweet spot here is at range 2. Like, you kind of want to shoot somebody at range 2 here, because at range 3 they're going to get that extra die, and of course that kind of defeats a little bit of the purpose of your chassis ability, kind of saying, hey, this is going to be much easier to hit you now because you can't change your dice. Well, you shoot at range 3, they're going to get an extra die. You don't have the missile symbol on there, so it's one of those things. Now, it does say it has 2 charge with the recurring symbol. It says attack, spend 2 charge, which means you can only do this attack every other round at most, right? It's going to basically require a whole round of cooldown. In Star Wars Legion, we call this ability Cycle. But basically, what it lets you do is it lets you attack with a 4 in the bullseye arc. It says change 1 eyeball to a hit or a critical result. So really liking this. You know, you got a built-in critical in there. It's like a heavy laser cannon that can crit. You know, it doesn't have to like turn all your crits back to hits. So really nice cannon. Of course, again, it is limited on who it can go on, and while I think it synergizes pretty well with the rogue class, there's a big part of me that wants to put this thing on a B-wing. I just think that B-wing would be really fun to run these with, because hey, you know what, we still have a pretty good primary attack anyway. So on the turns that we don't have it, you know, lined up, that's no problem. You know, but I just like B-wings anyway. So maybe it's not even optimal. Like, I don't even know if it's gonna be that optimal for B-wings, but I think it's still, you know, anything that makes B-wings be you know, have something cool and new toys for B-wings to play with, I like that as well. And that's about everything for the preview we got yesterday. So this is just more goodies for the rogue class. I'm sure we'll get some more droid pilots and stuff like that, as well as some different upgrades that may be coming in this particular pack. I'm guessing it'll probably have a fair amount of new cards that we haven't seen yet, and we'll have to see. Probably at least some kind of bomb as well, since the title is adding a device slot. We'll probably see at least one new crew, probably Cad Bane's little droidy friend, and maybe we'll even get some other bounty hunters and stuff, you know, from the Clone Wars that didn't show up in anywhere else. I think that's certainly a possibility. Some of the minor characters. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think of the rogue class. What do you guys think is the better version of Cad Bane? Do you think he's better as a Separatist or as Scum? You know, and what upgrades do you think we're going to see on these ships? I mean, do you think Xanadu Blood is going to be all that great? Is it, are we already going to, like, does it mean that, like, is this the only version that's going to have a crew option? Or is there going to be, like, is it going to have a crew normally, and this allows it to take a second crew? Which it doesn't look like it's a big enough ship to take a second crew, so I'm really leaning on the fact that it probably is too small to have a built-in crew, so maybe, you know, I said I'm leaning on the fact that and then I threw out a whole bunch of maybes. So the fact is that that's my guess. That's the only part that's fact. Yeah, or do you think Xanadu Blood will be better for just, I mean, maybe bombing too? I don't know. I don't see it. I see it being like a platform that has, you know, 2 cannon slots and maybe a talent and a mod and possibly illicit, right? But I don't know if it'll have much more than that. I doubt we'll get like a missile or a torpedo or something like that, since we've got the cannons, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget to join our Discord. We have some X-Wing stuff going on there right now. There's a X-Wing promo giveaway going on there, and on Patreon as well. And don't forget to check out Luxury Playstyle and check out those tokens. Don't forget code Crabbok VIP, and don't forget to you know, remember, May the 4th is coming up. May the 4th be with you. That's going to be tomorrow. Also, Mother's Day is this weekend. Don't forget Mother's Day, because, you know, mama's got to get some love. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I will talk to you guys soon. May the Force be with you, and live long and prosper. So say we all. Be excellent to each other, and party on.